Spurs, Pirates, and Jaguar fans might want to temper their expectations. Welcome back to Breakbirds DFS, one of the best places for PGA, NFL, MLB, and NBA news. If you don't know already, I'm Walt, and if you haven't already, I need you to like and subscribe to my channel. So, with draft season over for the three major American sports, there are a lot of teams who are dreaming about having a picture similar to what I have on the screen now. That's obviously the Denver Nuggets. They had their first championship in history, and I know the teams that are connected to the top picks in the MLB, NFL, and NBA draft are dreaming of a picture like this. But I did a little research and I came up with some very sad facts, and I'm going to tell you the three reasons why these facts exist. So let's first start with the NBA, and I'm just looking at the 21st century. We're not gonna go back because we know some sports have been playing longer than others. But in the 21st century, there has only been two players drafted first overall who got their team to the championship and won. We have LeBron James, but we're going to put an asterisk there because he actually left Cleveland and then came back. And then the only pure player that actually was drafted first overall and got their team a championship in the NBA is Kyrie Irving. We look at everyone else and it's just sad. And let me just say, some of these players actually have an NBA championship on their resume. They just didn't do it with the team they were drafted. You have Dwight Howard, you have Andrew Bogut. We keep going. We have Anthony Davis. We have Andrew Wiggins. We keep going. And that is it. So basically, in the 21st century, there's roughly an 8% chance that if you have the number one overall pick in the NBA, that person, while they're with your team, is going to bring in that championship. But surely it's better for football. No, it's actually way worse for football. In the 21st century, a first overall pick has never brought the championship home to their team. The last time it happened, oh my goodness, I was in high school and some of you all weren't even born, was 1998 with Peyton Manning. We can look at the picks since then and see it's just sad. Tim Couch, we know Michael Vick had a lot of potential and ruined it. David Carr, Carson Palmer, Eli Manning, the asterisk. Yes, we know that he got a championship for the Giants, but officially on the books, he was drafted by the Chargers, and we know his family kind of strong-armed him to the Giants. Alex Smith, Mario Williams, Jamarcus Russell. Jared Goff made it to the Super Bowl, but couldn't win. So we just see this list. Baker Mayfield, that's funny. Kyler Murray, he'll never win a championship. I'm saying it right now. We know Joe Burrow made it. He's a champion. But he's not an NFL champion. And he made it to the Super Bowl and he just couldn't put them on their back. I think Trevor Lawrence will eventually get a championship, but he hasn't gotten one yet. And Travon Walker hasn't had a chance to get one yet. So in football, at this point in the 21st century, 0%. So we can move on to baseball, and it's not much better. So baseball, we have Steven Strasburg and all of his injuries. He's one of the two baseball players in this century that actually got a ring with his team. The other one is Carlos Correa, and we're not going to spend too much time on the rings related to that team. No disrespect to the team. Then we have Dansby Swanson, who actually obviously has a ring with the Braves, but he was actually drafted by the Diamondbacks, and everyone else on this list has not won a World Series. So that's horrible. That is horrible. All of the money and time and scouting into the combined 69 players on these three lists, and we only have 4 from this list that have gotten their team a championship. Why is that happening? I have the 3 reasons. Number one, and it's probably obvious, free agency. I didn't go too far back. I kept it in the 21st century because we know that the majority of the 20th century, there were tighter reins on free agency. So you have a good amount of players in the 20th century who actually got their team that they were drafted from a championship. But as free agency is ramped up, and especially you can think about basketball where you have the super teams and they have a lot of friendly competition, just because that player, that awesome stud gets drafted to your team, especially in basketball, it doesn't mean they're going to bring your team the championship. Number two, which is also kind of obvious, bad teams usually have bad culture. And in every sport on this list, we give the number one draft pick to either the worst team or one of the worst teams in the league. So when that player joins that team, there is a good probability that there, whether it's coaching, whether it's management, or whether it's the teammates. And a lot of times that player kind of gets fed up, and as soon as they hit free agency, which is the number one reason, they're out of there. And the third reason is simply this, and this one is just kind of hard to believe in 2023 in the 21st century. There's a lot of bad scouting out there. Now, we know that over the past 10 to 20, maybe 30 years, we've added a lot of sabermetrics and a lot of, statistics into drafting. We know, back in the day, we had a lot of crazy subjective ways that scouts decided who they were going to draft. But even with all of the statistics, everything that's put into this, a lot of times these players just don't pan out. And I'll give it, it's not all, bad scouting and those kind of things. These guys are getting drafted at a very young age, and trying to project what a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, even a 22-year-old will do is very difficult. So I'm not raining on anyone's parade, but I got to put it out there that just having the first pick in the draft doesn't mean you're going to get that championship. Thank you for tuning into my channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to you later.